devil's on its way. Reaching my soul, baby. Looking glass. 7 years of love. The things in the past. When you believe in things that is superstition. Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste.
I'm the king of rock, there is none higher. Sucker MCs should call me sire. To burn my kingdom, you must choose fire. I won't stop rocking till I retire.
Now we rock up parties and come correct. All sets are on time and rhyme connect. Got the right to vote and to elect. And other rappers can't stand us, but give us respect. I wanna rock. In the beginning, back in 19
unmute that. All right. Hopefully that will keep up on that. All right. Topaz is back here warming up. Failed to connect to the chat server. Please show you. Okay. So anybody that's watching this, if you're trying to chat, I don't know, something's up with the chat right now. Maybe if you're on Twitch, chat in, or if you're on, I don't know if I can pull up the Facebook chat, but for some reason the chat stuff's not working today. I tried to mess with it. That's why we're actually starting a little late, because I've been dicking around with it for the last 10 minutes trying to get the stupid thing to work. So, if you are chatting with us or whatever and I'm not responding, it's probably because I can't see it. So I'm going to try to keep like checking in on it and see, because I see some people watching. If you chat on Twitch, I can probably see it because I have it up on my phone, the chat. But the Facebook chat, I'm not going to see on there. So, so that being said, welcome to another fun Sunday. Hopefully, if you got to train at all this week, you got to train. If not, which is probably the case, hopefully you're doing something else with your time. Something else, I don't know, what do you say? Positive with your time. I'd say I'm probably shooting about 75% positive, 25%. I take a lot of naps. So, yeah, we're getting some. Okay, Rob's on there. So we can see the chat on the phone here, although it's really pretty small. But Rob's on there right now. Big Rob.
Yep. Yeah, I was talking to him before I left the house.
Oh, nice. So I'll give a check on here and see if I can pull up the chat again at some point. In fact, while we're waiting here. What's that? You can keep an eye on it. Well, to be honest, it would be more the Facebook chat is what I would probably be concerned about, because I can see the Twitch chat here, but the Facebook chats, it's always sketchy on here to begin with, and then if you, actually, you know what, I already have the actual program here. So, what we're gonna do today, everybody, is we're going to review a role that. Okay. Sorry. Role that Topaz and I had at a undetermined time in the past. I'll leave it at that, because someone was pointing out it might not be a good idea to talk about when things happen. Yeah. See, I can't even. Oh, no, maybe I can. Yeah, see, even this app's not connecting to the chat. They must have a problem on their end of the thing, so it is what it is. Just chat in Twitch if you have any questions or anything. But what we're gonna do today is we're gonna watch over some video of a role that Topaz and I had, and we'll kind of just give our thoughts on it as it goes, and talk about a couple of positions and maybe what we're thinking, or point out kind of where maybe I made a mistake or where he made, did something well, and then kind of go from there. Maybe show a couple of the positions and stuff, and then take any questions as best as we can. What's up, Banda? Nice to see you back here again. I have a couple people that are pretty regular folks.
Yeah, that's good.
So, to do this, I'm gonna have to try this, and it might be a little clunky. I don't know if they see that red thing. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that chat and I'm just going to make it go away for right now, because the thing keeps popping up on the screen and we're seeing some weird stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over. Put in chat if you're having trouble seeing this or having trouble reading it or whatever. The only other thing I wanted to do is there a way to change the color? There we go. I think I want this like yellow.
Your Facebook is still just use it.
Oh, really? See, that's where and so the thing is, people watching on Facebook right now, it might be behind a whole bunch. I don't know. It does that. That's why I don't use Facebook pretty regularly. It gets bumped behind and then stuck, and so I don't know. It's just not a great platform, to be honest. They need to do a little better with that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch this and kind of just go through it. I'll probably let Topaz lead in terms of the beginning of it and just tell my thoughts because, in all honesty, I don't say most of this, but a lot of it's me responding to what he's doing. So let's go ahead and. I wish my eyes were better to see that. Let's transition this over. Of course, I have the long transition set up for the deal. Can I make this bigger? Probably not. It's okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and start this. Also, let me know if you can hear us and everything. Okay, it should be fine. But I just wanted to verify. But anyway, so we're gonna start, and I'll have this. Actually, I'll have it over here so I can pause and play it. So it's really only like a 4.5 minute roll or so,
Yeah.
especially because we stopped a little early because we thought someone's phone was the end of the timer. So, but I was pretty much done at that point. It was a matter of time before he was going to get me. So anyway, we're going to begin, and then we'll go. You want to go ahead and
Yeah, I mean, really, if you go back just a second, I don't know if you can go back just
Yep,
a
I
second.
can.
So
I
really,
absolutely can.
you know, we're looking at starting from this kind of position. I don't really play seated a lot, so yeah, we're good there.
Mhm.
My initial thing for me from the outside is just to get grips on the sleeves, you know, and that's kind of where we kind of went to as this thing started. So, considering not starting from standing, the first thing I always want is grips on the sleeve. That's kind of where we started out as we kind of were progressing there at the beginning.
Let me do something real quick. Sorry, I know I'm pain in the butt here. Please swap that. That's actually. Sorry, everybody. I want to make the display a little better for us, just so we can see us a little bit. Oh, Jesus, let's screw this up. You know what? I just messed it all up now. This is what I messed up before. That probably wasn't worth all the time it took to do that. Anyway, so back to here. All right, so back to what we're doing.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man. Like I'm a big fan of having a predetermined game plan, right? For me, right off the bat, sleeve grips are number one, right? And I like to just shut down to one side, whichever side I'm preferring to work with from that point. I have sleeve grips what I want, and now that's the side I want to play for.
Yeah.
Everything's there. My focus right now from that position, 100% of the time, is actually having that bottom leg come out and go up to your left side.
So, and I'll talk about that. That's a huge thing of our rolling. So, Rob, is this Underground BJJ Floyd Club we discussed the other day? So that's one of the things when I was rewatching this recently was that that's one of the things I noticed was like the problem I have with you, which I don't have this with anybody else, and I think it's just you focus on that tactic and you're really good at using it, and many people don't, even though it's a pretty basic thing.
A lot of people like to go to deep half guard from there, or go to half guard.
Yeah.
I don't like pressure.
Well, and so that's the thing. If you watch, I was actually kind of surprised because if I go back a little bit here, usually people will take half guard from me.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of expecting as we turn here, you got the grips, and I'm like kind of also what we talked about. I'm trying to keep my legs away, so I'm not giving you free control.
Yep.
But here, as we cut here, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to like a knee cut position, and he's going to go to this half guard. What happened is you didn't care about the half guard, so I kind of just windshield wipered my foot inside, and I was like, oh, I'm already on the inside position, and I'm trying my best to kind of control. Oh, for God's sakes! Here we go again. So I'm trying to control your sleeve and flatten you out, and turn it into basically a typical knee cut.
Right.
Because right here, I have control of your sleeve, and I'm essentially trying to pull it up as I drive through, because I'm like, oh, well, I don't have to force my leg through it all, because you already let it by. But what he's doing is he's keeping the top knee here in play, and all he's shooting for, and this is something I realized maybe halfway through, was all he's shooting for is to get his bottom foot, like you were saying, out.
Yeah, that's all I want.
And
I
regard.
use the knee shield there to keep the pressure off, and I have a 2-on-1 on that top sleeve, so I'm goosenecking your left arm right at the bicep,
Yeah.
so that you can't underhook my head.
And that's the thing. It's like I knew with the grip fighting there, I wasn't going to be able to get that
Yeah.
from that distance. But I figured if I could control your hand, I could start to basically keep you from keeping me away and drive in. But what happened is eventually you end up.
Go ahead, yeah.
And see, because I feel like I can just pass, so I'm trying to get heavy here, and I feel like okay, I'm going to get it kind of.
I'm so comfortable there.
I know,
because
and
do
that's
it
what, yeah. See,
all the time.
But see the bottom foot coming right back
Yeah.
in, and then boom, right back out. And now it's like we're back to this. And now, if anybody's ever rolled with Topaz, again, there's a reason he's so comfortable with this position, because he uses it all the time.
Yeah.
And I felt it, so that's why I didn't fight it too much, because I knew it wasn't very worthwhile. But if you've rolled a Topaz before, he does this a lot. Where I wish this was a little bigger. Can I make this bigger?
No, it's good there. I
Yeah,
mean,
right here. So if you see,
And even here, so I still haven't relinquished the sleeve grip that we started with,
Yep.
which I rarely do. But as we come up, my goal really is going to be to get the foot right back on the hip,
Yep.
right back to where we were.
well, and so that's where if you see, I have a control of this leg here, but I think the problem is I let control of that go, because you have control of my sleeve here,
Yeah.
but I have a pant grip. So what I want to do is kind of flatten you out and keep that leg, kind of keep you pushed forward so you can't turn back in.
Yep.
But it doesn't really work very well, as you'll see. That's why I've fought through this before. I've tried to fight with this before.
And I just
See,
want to come right back.
yeah, see, I'm too high up at that point. So now, essentially, I know you have the grip on the sleeve there, but I'm trying to turn it into a situation where I can start to stack you. You shoot. See, I shoot the right hand under the.
Yeah, I have double sleeve grips here,
It'll get better.
and still haven't let go of that first sleeve.
Yeah,
grip.
you see, I'm trying my best to. Because I know you're trying to get to like a spider, but I'm also trying to make sure you don't get a good grip on my lapel, because I don't want to have to break that. You
Yeah.
see, that's why I kind of backed and pushed back. But the problem is right here. Now I've let this.
So I'm actually,
Spider.
so right now, yep, exactly what you just said. I'm actually setting up the sweep right now. So I just started setting up the spider guard sweep now, where I transition to the foot's on the bicep, yep.
Mhm.
And all I want you to do is shift your weight back to your right.
And that's what eventually.
That's all I'm
happens.
looking for right now.
That's what eventually happens. If you see, I'm trying to play defensive here, in terms of I'm trying to undo once he gets that spider grip. What I'm trying to do here was bad, and I'll show you real quick what to them. Because when you have this, 'cause I was up here, yes, here. So initially my thought process was I'll drive this knee into here, and if I could get this driven out enough to here and start to kill this. But the problem is, I immediately felt that I wasn't going to have.
Yeah.
You could bend this as much as you needed to prevent me from getting this in. So I think I tried to switch, because in my mind, what I want to do from here is switch. Because now with this driven, I can definitely get under and start to attack that sleeve grip, and then get up. And now I don't care about your grip there as much. I can start to come through and basically improve my positioning.
What's really strong for me here as a spider guard person is I'm not square to you and flat, right? I know I want this sweep, so immediately my hips are turned to the outside, and I have this nice pressure on the bicep because I already know I'm coming back this way.
Mhm.
A lot of people, they get stuck here,
Yeah.
right? And that will allow you to switch, and it doesn't give me really any, if you put this back down, it really doesn't really give me much to sweep with because I'm already stuck here.
Mm-hmm.
I like to have my hips out far, and I'm on the side, so now I know if I get this or
Yeah.
whether I come here. I like to have the sleeve grip But as I make this transition back, I have all of that momentum.
Yeah, that hip change just really torques it and changes. You'll see that's what ends up happening. It's not immediately right after this, but it's pretty soon after. Where you know, in my mind, I'm just trying to negate your spider grips,
Yeah.
negate the grips. I know I might not be able to break, you know, but I if I can just swim under and push down, I don't care that you have the grip that much anymore. But if you create a scramble where we shift, all of a sudden now that I have to readdress that grip because the grip that didn't matter anymore now matters again.
Yeah.
Um,
What I'm looking for before you fast forward,
Yeah.
is, because and this is what you'll see. Not already
Yeah,
on
yeah.
first. What
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
actually looking for is what I'm really gauging now is your reaction. So I'll come out here. I may come here.
Yeah,
I may
that's-
come back here. I want to see what you're going to do with this.
yeah.
Because if I turn and you step it out flat, yeah, or there, or if we go back, if I turn and you keep your base really wide, even if you put this to the mat or wide or whatever, it's going to determine where I'm going to go next. So I was kind of moving, and one time I came around and you put it kind of close. Yeah, you put your knee down kind of square and close. It wasn't even across like this, it might have been straight.
Sorry,
But
like
yeah,
I
you
driven
could
it, driven
pin
it.
it down, but it wasn't driving in. And that's when I realized, okay, I'm gonna go back to that sweep, and I
Well,
come back.
and you'll see that's what happens here because we turned one side. I'm trying to undo something. Okay, that's a good question. We'll actually get to that right after this.
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
a lot of that's good. So we'll watch a little bit more here and to show you exactly what happens. Because I'm trying to kill it. I switch my legs, I think, to try to drive in more.
Mhm.
But then when you square back up, I think I might stand and try to adjust my position. Let's see what happens here. So I'm trying to kind of roll my.
I'm just trying to move you to see what you're gonna do with your base. Right now.
Yeah, see, so that. Yeah.
I just want to see where. And then you put the knee down. You're like, okay, now
So now, yeah,
I'm going.
Yep. And
Yeah.
see, that's the thing. Right now, you can easily see why the next thing happens.
And my leg's not even the right leg's not even chambered yet, right? But I'm like the knee is down.
Yep.
I'm going now.
Well, and that's the thing. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to drive this up into your hamstring.
Yeah.
To put pressure so that hook doesn't, like, almost like it pops up and out.
Mhm.
But the thing is, I don't get enough of a push in there, and when you shift, I'm way off balance by that point because I'm so, like you said, as soon as his knee went down, the kick into my bicep,
Yeah.
I just go.
Yeah, you're like, and like do like a bicep curl. Yeah.
Oh, and see, you did what are we talking? You did the push on the you pushed on the foot, which I find against people that have good base is what I have to do more than chop. I feel chop you can really get if you
I
get
don't.
there.
I don't actually don't chop anymore.
Okay.
I always look to push because if they do step up while you're pushing that out, you can transition.
And that's
easier.
we were talking about that the other day. Was I find I like to push more because a lot of the times people's reaction with the chop is to step up and over.
Yeah.
And so I found with the push, you get your reactions better. You're
Yeah.
able to because you kind of keep a connection the whole time. Whereas the chop, you're kind of chop, and once they step up, you lose any kind of connection.
Yeah, I always and that
Yeah.
I use the word always, but the majority of the time I push now.
Yeah. And one thing, and then we'll talk about the Andre's question. One thing, and I've talked about this in my streams a lot of times in the past, was as soon as he shifted his weight, I kind of knew I wasn't going to be able to recover. Like I didn't have the time to base or get my knee down. So as soon as I start coming over, you'll see I've talked about this where I kind of know I've lost the sweep. I got to get to a position that I'm comfortable with when we land. So here you'll see I shoot right to a single leg X. Pretty sure I shoot.
Yeah, before you go, yeah, you
yeah.
do. So just before we go forward, and John's going to hit on a good point. He goes to single leg X. Particular to me and my style, I like being on top in single leg X.
Yeah.
So I'm not concerned with the transition here.
Yeah.
Ideally, from this transition, you're exactly right. I would start to bring my right foot out so I can go to side control.
Mm-hmm.
But because I enjoy that top single leg X position.
Yeah.
I just give it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it's a fault because when I'm with, JP or Max or one of those guys, I can't hit this, but I give up single leg X.
Yeah.
Is what we're getting at.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's exactly where you go from here. And we all have a laugh about it because we all know that this is what we do.
Yeah. One person off to the side was talking about, he was always like giving away little things we've been talking about beforehand. So
Yeah.
it's like stuff we were probably both thinking in our minds, he started to talk about, and we kind of stop and readjust.
Yeah.
Um,
Ideally, I'd windshield wiper that right foot back across
Across
to
is basically
establish
come
side
up,
control.
or
Yeah.
come up to a neon belly.
Or
if
to
you
a neon belly,
come
exactly.
up, yeah.
Yep.
And that's the thing. I feel like with these type of sweeps, my goal is to shoot my right knee in as quick as possible here as I'm coming over, so that I have something between.
Yeah, you
us
got
to
the single leg X right away.
Yeah, and that's
It's
this
automatic.
is like I do this these days, and I don't even think about it. You know, it's just the reaction from these types of sweeps. But going back to Andre's question, where he's talking about the spider guard and how you use it in terms of the pressures and the biceps, I think it would be great to talk about this. Let's turn this way a little bit so we can get a straight.
So I love spider guard, and for those of you guys if we've never met before, I'm almost 6'1". So for me, it's,
Yep, you're good. You're good.
I'm almost 6'1". So for me, spider guard works really well for me. One, because I don't like pressure, I don't like weight on me, which is why I started playing this. And two, I have really long legs. So my spider guard starts here. I'm starting it here from my grips, right? And then I like this hip motion out, and then immediately my pressure's going to the bicep with the shin. Already he's my puppet now.
Yeah, because he's pulling. He's not pulling hard with this, but he's pulling enough and pushing enough with his shin.
Yeah.
That there's this tension that I'm kind of stuck here now.
And I also have, if we turn a little bit this way, I have my foot on the hip, and my hips are elevated. My hips aren't dead on the mat. I have this nice elevation in the hips. I'm going the same way on the other side, going bicep. I'm pulling down on the sleeves. I have shin pressure in the biceps, and my hips are not on the mat. This is not any good. We gotta have this engaged, and I'm using my feet on his hips to help do that.
Yeah, because I'm not going to be sitting here when he's playing this game. I'm going to be moving and trying to get around, and that's the foot on the hip is keeping this connection that's basically allowing me not to do much, especially with these grips.
Once he stands up, I've essentially lost the pressure I want on the bicep with my shins. That's when I transition to foot. It's the same thing. I have my outside of my foot is in that nice groove at the end of his bicep. Some people will play up high. I don't feel there's enough control. I slide all the way down to that nice crook of the elbow. Now, where you'll get some, I'll use the word debate, but it's not really debate, is people that'll play with the bottom foot high or the top foot high. So what I've learned from a few people is obviously when I have this foot, the low foot, not extended, it can get stepped on, which we don't want. I'm a big fan of playing. I play a lot this way, and that's just because I'm looking for the same types of sweeps, and I'm looking for lasso on this side if I can get it. So this is a position I like a lot.
This is what I play probably the most.
What was the specific question again? Aside from
Well,
the basics
how to basically I think the basics on how you're keeping pressure when you're moving, and I think one of the important things that I would point out with this is that he's not keeping his legs extended much, or if he is, it's usually just one in a direction, and he's I guess the best way up, he's very flexible with his leg movement, because if he extends his legs out too far, that's when I can start to kind of break that tension. Because right now he has tension because he has this extension, but if I start to extend it out long, well, now I'm starting to come out to the end. So he doesn't want to generally play super long all the time, because as soon as I start to get him, you see how he switches, and now my attacks on this are negated essentially because he's being flexible with his legs. Then I'm coming up here to try to break this. He's switching and he's pushing away. He's getting back to this, but he's never playing a very rigid game with his legs. Because as soon as I think you start to get inflexible from there, you're making it easier for me to punch
to pass through,
to punch under. You're being flexible is key.
the basic submissions.
Basic submissions. You say you only learned 3. I don't know. You could. Yeah, see, the thing is, the spider guard stuff's not as basic.
Yeah, I was asking if that's from Spider Guard. That's going to be tough. That's going to be a good breakdown. That'll be a whole nother day.
That's
I think.
that's
That'd be
a
fun.
whole nother series of stuff. But anyway, so let's pop back to the video and we'll continue on because there's some other good stuff in here.
Oh wait, this is a good. So as John's doing that, so my right hand.
They can't see that right now.
Oh, they can't see that. So
I just
when
want to take
when-
this transition.
Yeah,
off.
when it comes back up, he's working on something, but you'll see that my right hand will be controlling his left sleeve grip. Throughout this entire sequence that's coming
That's a
up, I
huge
never
point.
let go of that sleeve grip.
So that's another huge point that I wanted to point out.
Yeah.
In this
Actually, I
is-
think I switched to the other arm. I think I switched to your
it's this
right
arm.
hand.
It's my right hand.
Yeah,
Yes.
I switched to your right hand. So that's what we're going to talk about
yep.
next.
So that's the other big. What's up, facility? So that's the other big thing I took out of this
Yeah.
watching this roll was once I get to here, I'm very comfortable. Like I'm very comfortable from this single leg position with my transitions to X guard. Especially once there's a point where I think I get your leg on top of my shoulder.
Yep.
I think it might be. I think we get there from here. When I have someone's leg on my shoulder with either from like a single leg X where I can transition to X guard, I feel very, very confident in my ability to at the very least sweep, get them on their butt because I have long enough legs. Even against someone like Topaz, who is also a longer guy. One of the things I never had as an advantage against Topaz is the fact that he's just as long as me. So whereas some people who are better than me, I have at least advantage of like, my legs are a little longer. I have a little bit more space I can use or whatever with that. I've never had that advantage with him. But as you see in this, even against someone as long as him and stuff, it's still one of my positions I'm very confident in. So we'll just let this roll. So you see, okay, and here,
There's a switch.
yeah. So if you watch, and also I didn't get the, I would prefer this leg to be on my shoulder because then it's much easier for me to turn it into like to take out the trash takedowns and stuff.
So so I have control of his right sleeve now, and you'll see for like the next until we get to the next position.
Yep.
I will still have that sleeve grip. So there are two things in my mind right now. If you keep the grip you have now, I want to pass. If the foot goes up to the shoulder, I'm going into bottom side submission series.
Okay.
So those are the two things. Those are my two options right now.
Yep. And from my perspective, I have a wrap on the leg here, so I know I have control of that, and I've transitioned to this X guard. So for me, one of the things, and I think I do it 3 or 4 times, sometimes like twice. I think I'm successful at least getting you down. Is all I do is a very basic. This foot's up in the hip. This foot slides down to the ankle, catches it, and you basically, I push and pull.
Yep.
And because he can't base out this way with his feet at all, because this one's controlled and this one's controlled, he'll fall to his butt. And then, I want to get up. I will talk about the problem I had getting up when I did get you down one time.
And that's the thing where I think you did it 3 times.
Yeah.
It's very effective to sit me down on my butt. But with that sleeve grip, and I know I can get to the foot.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fall down, but I'm just gonna get back up.
And that's the thing, and that's what that's.
And we do it 3 times.
Yes.
You guys will see it.
Yeah. That's where that sleeve grip becomes a big thing. So here I didn't feel very confident. This is where the person next to us kind of talked and was kind of telling us what we were going to be doing next, which kind of threw us off a little bit. We laughed, and so he also kind of his big head gets stuck. See, if you look now, with him down like that, I transition back to that single leg. He stands back up. I go back to that X guard where he's starting to try to smash. So I take my foot out, and I'm almost coming. It's not like a 50-50, but it's this weird kind of thing.
And everything I'm doing, I have the sleeve grip. Even
Yeah,
I have
you
it
see,
in both
like right
hands.
now, actually let's go back right there because it's actually pretty. I don't want to say noticeable, not profound. I don't know what the word. It's very, very. Watch his grip. He is very particular about switching this grip to make sure he keeps this sleeve controlled. And this sleeve, him controlling my right sleeve, is what really screws up most of what I'm trying. If you watch here, as I'm transitioning back, he switches his grip here. around because he had an under grip to over grip.
Yeah.
And so there,
And because
I knocked him over.
it's also because the leg was getting extremely annoying. Your right leg.
Yeah.
You were doing so much stuff with your right leg that it was starting to be annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to shore up the grip on that arm, switch it to the outside, because now I know if I need to come up, I can extend
Yep.
my right arm.
Yep.
If I had the grip underneath your wrist the way it's faced now, I can't get any
Yeah,
extension.
that's rewatching this just now. It was like you had the grip initially, but it was like you said it was
Yeah,
under
so I
grip.
can't get any extension when I want to stand back up because I feel
Yep.
that this is where you're going.
Yep.
So I switch the grip over. Now I can extend, and as long as I control that foot, I can stand back up.
And so that's the thing. When I knocked him over, I knew the problem I was going to have was going to be getting back up because I know he knows the fight, and because he has a grip on that pointing, I should just
I'll circle it.
oh, Jason's on here too. So yeah, like right here, I know he has this grip, and I know in my mind this grip's going to cause me problems. So what I'm trying to do, my best, when I'm coming up here, I know if I keep his legs elevated, I should be able to keep him from coming up at the very least. And it should help me in terms of coming up. But what happens is I'm kind of stuck in this spot and my bottom foot is hooked on your hip. It's like hooked under and up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of stuck and I can't pull back and extend out. So what I try to do is I try to take this hand and get a control on the bottom of your leg so I can lift it up, which was going to move it out of the way of my foot to come out and also let me extend both your legs up and come up. But you'll see because of this stupid grip.
But the other thing for this grip too, you can let it play. The other thing for this grip too is it gives me omoplata and triangle options.
Yeah.
Because I can push the grip across your
Yep.
face.
You see here,
So
like
that's what I
there,
wanted
that
there.
bit right there.
I started to try to set up the omoplata there. I
Mhm.
started to try to push your arm away
Yeah.
and bring my left foot over the top. But you defended it. So then we went back down.
Yeah, see, this is where I'm trying to keep your leg elevated, you see, but because you've been able to base out now and everything, I know that I've lost the battle of getting up. And so I think this is where I get the foot to my shoulder. Because I kind of know, again, like I was saying before, like I know I've lost the fight getting up. He's going to be coming back up. I can't stop this base now. He's already got his knee down, his hip's coming up. But if you see, I'm essentially setting right back up for an X guard. And I take this because I have the grip and I drive it up to my shoulder, I believe. Again, a lot of this is just my instincts. Yeah, see how I pull it up and then boom. So now I'm keeping this extended out and I want to keep this leg straight and create space to get my feet back in. There, and we're right back to X guard. But now I'm in that X guard with the head on the shoulder, hand on the shoulder, or the leg over my shoulder, which I actually feel is better than what I had before. But the big problem is right here, exactly what you're talking about. See, I'm keeping this grip because I'm holding it so you don't use your. I'm using it to try to keep you from attacking my feet. But the thing is, you're also basically you switch it and use it to grab, and now with this gripped, I can't do the things I wanted to do. Because I really wanted to come and get this foot to the other side and start to come and take the back. That's in my mind. I was thinking that, but as you'll see as I play.
But this is what we were talking about right here when we were talking about the Matrix yesterday is I'm controlling that top foot with my left hand. You can't see it from this angle, but I have control.
Yeah, you have
of it.
like control.
Yeah,
through
I have a C clamp, kind of C grip at your top of your foot to apply pressure. Ideally here, I would smash that foot to the mat.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily backstep so much. It is a backstep, but because I'm shoving that foot to the mat, I don't have to really step back
You want to show
so
everybody?
much.
We can get right back to this.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
We'll do it where you're facing this way. That way you can see.
We were having this conversation yesterday because what we see a lot of times is people will go, they don't take this grip, they just try to push and go here, which leaves you the ability, to go here.
And then, yep.
But what I do, and what I've always done, and you guys can see it from the video, is I go here first,
Yep.
and then I go here.
Yep.
So now my thing is to drive this across,
Yep.
so that it kills that foot, and I go here.
Yep. And you don't have
And
to
I can go back here,
Yep.
or I can start to attack this arm here. That's what I do differently, because my first thing, boom, you get in the X guard, I go here right away.
Yeah.
And then I put my elbow in my pocket. and I let it rest in the crease.
Because here, from what I want to do, there's a couple things I want to shoot to do here. Okay, one is, and you'll see, I think we get it again, where it's the same thing. I let my foot come down and take it back. But what I wanted to do from here was go ahead and let this go real quick. I wanted to take this, come here, pop this over, under, and start to attack the back. But I can't do any of that.
So that's why this, to me, as soon as I get to X guard, this is where I want to be. Even if
Yeah.
you're fighting all this, I want this and I want it here.
Yeah, because now it's like it limits the things I can do. I can't go out the back.
And a lot of
anymore.
times this leg will be outside. Go ahead and put it on the outside like you haven't.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be here. So we'll have this fight, you know, a little bit. And from here, my control is at the ankle on the pants. Here. That way, if I do get pushed backwards and we fall over, I'm here now. And now what I like to do, you can still kind of see us a little bit. Slide this way a little bit. What I like to do from here, at this point, because I have this pants grip, is I elevate and I come inside here.
Yep.
And I go right here. Now I'm starting to attack
Yep.
from here. But it's all the grips that I switch. But going back to what's on the screen.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, the screen's good.
I just realized, why is the transition still so... I'm sorry, I'm just... Okay. There we go. That should do it better anyway. So going back to that, sorry.
Last
So they can see better.
thing as I belabor this little point is having this cross sleeve control and in the pocket is really, really beneficial. If I don't and I'm here,
Yeah, that's...
I can think, and even if he doesn't grab this, right, it's almost like a setup. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a setup.
Yep.
Because now I've got my back taken, and all kinds of stuff. So, and it's very effective. I just watched the video yesterday. We've been talking about it, but I think that this is just me thinking out
I
loud.
think they do the same thing.
I think if I keep this, I feel comfortable with this grip and attacking this foot here and driving this, and now I can go here. I don't feel like I give that up. You can go ahead and try to go to matrix from there.
Under here.
Yeah, I don't.
The problem is, because with that control, I have to kick this off somehow.
Yeah.
And then come up, and the problem is, I'm doing it one-handed. You know, I can't boast. I can't grab anything.
So I feel relatively comfortable there, and I think that's a conversation we were having yesterday. But play with that grip. If you're on top, get the cross grip, and if you do fall back, you know, if you get swept back, look to control that bottom leg because they need it to stand up.
Yeah.
So you take it, you control it, and don't let them come up. Just, you know, move yourself around, keep your awareness so that you can start to come up, even if you go back to the same position. Because at that point, they've got to figure out, okay, do I go back to the same technique or do I have to do something different? Sorry.
No, you're good. No, I'm just trying to figure out because I was wondering. I meant to send him something earlier and ask about that. If you look at the last comment. His head pops in for a second because it gets in the way.
Oh, yeah.
I can try to avoid that.
You're talking about the foot in jeopardy from the ankle lock?
Oh, I think that was Andre's question.
Is that what you're talking about?
When you fell.
Oh,
Oh, so yeah, so
potentially, yeah, but
it's such a yeah. Sorry. So
no, that's a good question.
We're here, and I pop back. Boom.
Right.
Yeah, there's potential. I could try to, but the thing is,
Let's turn all the way around this way. So here's another one of my comfort things, is this sleeve. Right? If I lose this sleeve,
because then I can start to
and
extend.
now he starts to
But
do
with this
stuff.
sleeve, even if I get a good grip with the sleeve, it's hard for me to extend out and eventually attack this. You know, even if I get this out where I have a good grip here and stuff, to me, this is the lowest, and maybe it's just because I'm not great at it.
Yeah.
This is the lowest percentage ankle lock attack to go from this side. You know, I like to get it to the other side where I can then attack it this way and have much better. But with this arm controlled, I can't do any of that.
Yeah, but you're 100% right. I've been in positions like this, and that's where people will go. They'll start to try.
Yeah.
So I do have this 2-on-1, and I just keep moving.
Yeah, this is
Around
where it's like
starting
I
to
have to
escape.
come up. It's the ankle lock is not going to be there from that position, I don't think.
But people will go for it, so it's good. It's good that you recognize that it's there. I like
Okay.
to keep control of that sleeve.
He
Put
was,
my,
he was kidding about that, so that's good. That makes me. I mean, Jason.
oh
So,
no! He's
I was
good.
like, oh man, I feel
But keep my
bad.
elbow in the pocket, and,
Yeah.
and I feel comfortable there.
Yeah. So we'll continue on with the video here, but you'll see that's what gave me the most problems during that portion was here we go. Was that whereas like his control of my sleeve, if he didn't have it at any point during that, I would have been able to come up better or start to like get under
Yeah.
and come out the back a little bit. But all that wasn't basically options anymore because that sleeve grip. And you see, even here he's trying to kill that, and we're coming back, and I'm getting back now, back to single leg. And this is the thing from these and back to that. But here, so this is where I made a mistake. So I made a mistake, but this happens, and you did this a couple days before this roll as well, where kind of jumping to that triangle
Yeah.
attack.
Yeah.
If you see, all he did was feel, and I felt the same thing. And it's kind of if the sound was onto this where you could hear it,
Yeah,
you'll hear me go no, like oh, because I know as soon as I lost my knees between us, because I'm trying to get back to single leg, I'm trying to knock him over, single leg X here, I'm trying to get back, and I do that X guard, boom, right back here. And see, look at this stupid, sorry, I don't want to curse, but look at this script, is still there. And it's causing me all these goddamn issues.
Yeah.
But you see, as I knock him back here, I don't do a good at keeping my legs between us.
I'm looking right for that leg
Yep,
right now.
because he pushes.
And I
he-
step
as
step right
soon as
over
that, see, both my knees are out now. There's nothing keeping him from driving his hips up. And if he gets his hips up, especially because my other arm's over his bottom leg on the far side, if he drives his hips forward, he's jumping right up to a triangle. And he felt it, and I felt it. So what happened was, as soon as we got to here, I posted on your hips and kind of created frames, because you can't really see it here, because I know if I let him get close, I was screwed,
Yeah.
because I was going to get triangled. So I post, and I kind of right here, I got frames on his hips, and that's why his hips can't get closer. But I'm not
That's
in a
where
good
I pulled
spot.
up on your elbow right there.
Yep. And he's trying to kind of drive forward, but the problem is I'm keeping him down, but it's not enough to kind of keep him.
So here I switched to the armbar.
Yeah, and this is where I felt I needed to turn, because I felt at best what was going to happen was you were gonna back out of my frames and come up to top. So I said I'll turn my hips down.
Yeah, the thing was, I felt your arms and the hips here.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, oh, well, there's an armbar there.
And so that's the other thing I wanted to talk about in this part was, and let me check the time to make sure we're getting close to 1. Let me know exactly what time we have to leave. But right now, I would be okay if you didn't have a hook.
Yeah, I switched it. I switched it to
Yeah,
that.
he has a hook through my arm, so my arm's kind of through here. I don't know if we can recreate this real quick, but like, so we were.
It was kind of like down this way. It would
Well,
actually
go
my
onto
belly
your side. Go onto your side.
You want this
Here.
side?
Like this. This was over because I was pushing, and then we ended up like this. And he
Yeah,
hooked.
I switched here. Can you
Yes. Oh, sorry. So what happened is, here we were here, and he had his feet kind of, I think it was, yes, it was over my shoulder, here. So I knew he couldn't triangle me from this direction. So I'm trying my best to now unhook his legs. And if I can undo this, I can start to pressure. But because he had this hooked, right? So what ended up happening was, like, I eventually, I get into here and I kind of open this, and I think
And I came over.
yes, like this.
And I started to go belly
yes,
down.
it starts to go belly down. So I posted here, and you'll see before what I was trying to do. Go back to your hip a little bit before you turned up. Was I got this and I wrenched it in. I'll show. Let's look at it real quick, because you'll see. I tried to anchor my arm so that, because the problem is if I try to come up from here, because he has that hook on my arm, it's almost like an omoplata type pressure. You'll see I'm trying to stay low and base.
Before you go there,
Mhm.
when we were, as we started to go here, and you had this, I could feel this control of the arm.
Mhm.
So I was like, hey, right now, I kind of decided I'm going to go to the back. I still came up, tried to reverse it a little
Yeah,
bit.
this is here. I
I
pushed
felt,
down
yeah,
here.
when I
and
felt
came
this,
up here
I decided I'm going to the back.
to do this. Yes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and what I was trying to think of was essentially because you have such a torque on my shoulder and arm. If I let my hips get up and my weight get up, I'm going to get rolled, or I'm.
That's what I was hoping too. I was
Yeah.
hoping you would roll.
Yeah, and I knew.
Yeah.
So I knew if I got heavy or I got light, I would get rolled. So I'm trying my best.
Yeah, I was hoping there that you would roll, and then when you turned your arms, like you were saying,
Yeah, you see
I
how
don't know
I-
who this weird is.
Yeah, he gets his head in the way. But see, I pushed the foot off from the back of my head.
Yeah.
So that I can start to kill your legs. There's actually a point in here. He'll move in a second. There's a point in here where I actually felt. See, you're coming up here.
Yeah.
But I'm anchoring down. I'm basing out here. I'm keeping my hips super low. Because
So here I decide to transition to the back.
yeah, but if you see right here,
Your
this is
posture's
where
heavy. Your
yes,
posture's super strong there.
super strong. Because if you see, even with this, if he turns his hips, it torques and drives my shoulder and my weight. Him turning his hips makes my weight want to come up.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to keep based and low and heavy
Yeah, I thought you were gonna roll, and you didn't. And I was
No,
like, ah, okay.
because I eventually I got to a point where I actually felt comfortable where I think I hugged both your legs.
Yeah.
It started to, I thought I was actually going to squish down and come out, but then I can't remember exactly what happens. Let's see here. Because once I got that hand out,
There,
I felt
yeah.
I could step over. But if you see how my butt keeps coming up? That's because you're turning your hip. It's not because I'm lifting up. It's because you're turning and the torque on my shoulder sucks. So here's where I thought I was good because that hand cupped.
Yeah. No,
That was
you had a
like
good
your legs.
position there. I had one hand grabbing my own lapel here,
Mhm.
and then this hand was free. So I had your arm.
Okay,
here
and
with
see,
this,
that's the
and I
thing.
had
The
my
arm
own.
control killed. Like I was in a good position.
Yeah.
Except for how deep and tough. Strong
Yeah, I
that
passed
arm
it over
control-
and
yeah.
I put it in here like this.
It was as if he was clamped to like basically here. So anytime he turns, it's my whole body's getting moved. And here's where I rolled my hand under and kind of gripped, and I wanted to come up and smash.
Yeah.
But you turn your hips, and
Yeah,
I
you
think
did a
it
really
pumps
good.
me
You did a really good job there.
and drives. And you'll see there's a point where my arm comes out, and I'm trying to adjust that, and that's when you hit the back.
Yeah.
Because I'm basically kind of in this weird awkward spot with my arm, and then you use that opportunity to come out. Because even now you still have such a grip on my arm. See, like that torque, it's just his hips turning.
Oh yeah, you rolled here. You started to roll. I thought you were gonna roll through
Okay, yeah.
because
See,
when I went to extend your arm, your thumb came up.
okay, yeah.
Your thumb came up, and as soon as I felt your thumb came up,
Yeah.
that's when I came out this time because
Well,
I knew you were out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was rolling my arm under to come up, so then I could come up.
Yeah.
And that's when you just.
I
you
felt
took-
your thumb come
Yep,
up. And
yep.
as soon as I did, that's when I came out this
Yep.
side because I was like, he's out.
So one thing I did decent here, or I took advantage of, or one of the things I'm good at, is here. So now you have the hook, and I know I can't let this hook come in, but I
Yeah.
know I can't fall to this hip anymore. Like if I fall to my right hip, I'm falling into his back hook, and I'm going to be done. So if I go to a hip, I have to fall to my right hip before any of this leg or his knee comes into the space, because that's going to be my way out basically. And I think that's one of the ways I keep this from happening here. See how I flattened? And now I'm just making sure, like one of the things I focus on is not letting you get the hooks in easy. But you kept attacking the bow and arrow chokes.
This was bow and arrow. But
Yeah.
then as we go forward, I want to just hit on something we talked about later that day.
You also do a good job. You do a great job of this. Go and turtle real quick. Topaz does a great job, probably better than most people. I think JP's the other person that does this to me, where I go, I don't know how to keep that from happening. Where he has, let me switch that real quick. Where he has, shit, I just blanked on what I was.
Yeah, moving from this position. Yeah.
I totally blanked on what I was going to show. I'm sorry. Because you have the hook here, and the control. I know I have to fall to this hip to get
Yeah.
out, because if I fall the other way, you're going to get stuck in. Like JP, one of the things JP does, and I wish I could do better, was whenever he attacks this position, he's shooting his knee to this
Yeah.
space here. Let's turn a little bit. Where he's coming up, he's not coming up and attacking from here. he very rarely, I think, stays here. Oh, I remember what I was going to show you. But he drives this up and over,
Comes around.
to tap, boom, to get out. Where you don't have a chance to really flatten out. But, sorry, the thing that Topaz does great is this. If you're in this position where he gets this lapel grip here and kind of pulls you in to his lap, that's a real hassle to stop.
But I'm going to show you guys this, and we talked about this. There was a reason why, and it's funny that we talked about it, and it's on the video. For those of you guys that we've never met before or don't know, my background. So, from a military perspective and a self-defense perspective, I don't like being on someone's back because if I'm on the back, he's on top, right? And if his buddy comes first, all he's got to do is pin me down. And now I'm not winning the fight. I'm getting attacked by someone else. So in my mindset, and this is just this is my background. I prefer to be here, or I prefer to work my way to mount. Not as effective from a jiu-jitsu competition perspective because I don't get a lot of finishes from the back. I just don't. It is my weakest area. But I want to be on top. And you'll see this in the video as we progress. But so that's why this technique for me, no, you can go to your knees now. This technique for me is actually exactly what John said. I like to go here, turn. I like to go here to control this on the outside. This is my control, and I close my elbow off, and then now turn back this way a little bit. And all I like to do from here is I kind of push and then trap this knee, and I like to fall back. But I don't even sit them in my lap really because I don't want to be underneath them. I'm almost, here. This is where I'm at. So you'll see it in the video.
Yeah, I keep escaping.
My bow and arrows aren't very good because I don't have the right position, but I still go for it. I'll still go here.
Yeah, that's right. I think the first time you get it, go ahead and grab that back. I was able, because he has no
Your head
control.
comes right out.
Well, because I posted it here and I popped.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, without that control with the legs and the back position, it's
So I'll
hard.
be the first to admit my bow and arrows aren't good, but there's a reason for it. And you guys will see it is because I don't really want this. I don't want to be underneath somebody. So what I'm going for is I set this up because I want him to turn back. And you guys will see it in the video. This is what I want. He turns, yes, I want this. I want this arm. So I can either use this to start to go to mount, or I can control it and come over. And you guys will see it. You guys will see it in the video.
What happens? Yep.
Because that's exactly what I want.
Yep.
It's terrible from a jiu-jitsu perspective because you're not taking the back. You're not getting 4 points. The back is where you want to be, is the positional hierarchy.
Yeah.
But from a self-preservation standpoint, I don't want to be underneath you.
Yeah, because and even if it's in a position where you're like, they have no buddy, but you're just like, I just want to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So you guys will see it. And like I said,
Yeah.
from a purely jiu-jitsu perspective, it's terrible. I have horrible back submissions from the back. 9 times out of 10, if I take someone's back, I really want to come back on top. And I'm self-admittedly terrible at it. But we'll go forward, and you guys will see exactly what we just discussed.
So we go back to that. Figure this all out now. And we'll keep going from there. So yeah. So I'm trying my best to just make sure, and see, he pulls me right over there, and I slide my hips, but like he said, he's not really trying to get this. And here, I push on the bicep there, and I know if I can push
It's funny, the comment you got, knee on the back of the head may help with finishing. You'll see that too, because you'll exactly see that exact same thing. I do put the knee on the back of the head, and he escapes. And that's a really good point because it's valid. That is actually the only way I do finish from that position, is using the knee on the back of the head.
Knee in the back.
Yeah,
Hey.
and I tried it, and you escaped. But and it's a great
Well, and
comment.
I think the second time you try it, what happens is I end up escaping to where you grip the arm.
Yeah.
I escape up, and then I'm trapped.
Yep, no, it's a great comment. That's exactly what happens too.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I need to get my grip, my elbow closed on the side. I have the lapel.
See, and I'm
and
like,
now we sit back.
Yep, and then right back to that. I'm trying to think like if I could hook something or whatever.
And there goes the knee.
Yep,
the
and
knee's going to start to come up.
But I
start
flatten.
out.
Yeah, see, I flatten right out. But here, if
But
you
that's
see,
what I want.
now
I
he has
want
that
the
grip.
arm.
Yep, that grip on that other arm, and now I'm kind of stuck. I'm trying to push your bicep or your tricep away.
I'm starting to just looking for the arm bar there.
And that's right. I thought I might be able to turn up, but because I was extended out, my arm was trapped. I couldn't drive into that.
because
at
I
all.
love that position so much.
Yeah, and now my arm is stuck extended up. Like I'm in a bad spot where it felt really bad on my shoulder, but in just kind of getting compressed up your way. And I'm
I
trying
went for a
to-
wrist lock there too.
He
Tried to
did.
pin your elbow
He
to
did,
the
yeah,
mat.
he did. But now someone's phone goes off, and we thought it was the end of the round. And I'll be honest, by that point I was dying. I was like, oh, thank God there's a bell, because I felt good up until you started attacking my back, and that's when I was just like, one of the things I like with rolling with, or like about rolling with Topaz, is I very rarely can slow things down enough to where we get stuck. I used to be able to get it. If I can get him at 50-50, that's where I can slow it down, and I know he hates that. He really hates that.
Did you get to see it?
Um, but because his game is so predicated on moving so much, I'm constantly forced to move, which is not what I want to do.
Yeah.
So it's a game of like me trying to stick him in and get him stuck somewhere where he can't use the fact that he's just going to be faster than me and better at those type of passes, and lock it down. And that's the trouble I have with him all the time, is I can't keep him in place. Like even when I get to a position that's good, he's really sly on all those little things, the grip on the sleeve, little things where I can't. It's like I have 85% of a position. It's like if I have that hand free, I can do so much more because I can grab, I can come under, I have a lot of options. But just gripping that throughout that whole, that whole process of transitions really kept me from doing success at like 3 different spots, basically.
Yeah.
And so it's like that little thing is such a big part of just, I want to say this, it's such a minor detail and it's such a minor thing, but focusing on that, I want to say, just makes everything else so much better. You're so much your positions are so much more solid.
Yeah.
Because
But it comes with its downsides too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because my mindset is I like to keep moving. So when I can't move, I give up stuff just so that
you can move
hoping
more.
that the person on top will move.
Yeah.
Right. So it's almost like you're like, hey, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna come out on my shield or whatever.
Yeah.
Like if someone is really heavy in side control, I throw stuff up because I need movement.
Yeah,
I So I get caught in a lot of things because I just
You try to
trying to
create,
to create space, which sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But
yeah. So what I'm trying to build into my game in terms of just let's just talk about the from the perspective or the perspective of passing. I'm a pressure passer.
Yeah, so
Right?
it's funny because I'm cutting you off, but it's
Yeah.
exactly what's posted. It says, how do you stop or slow someone like Topaz or the way he keeps moving? And I typed in there pressure.
Okay.
And
Yep.
and Jason does a good thing, does well with this too when he starts to set up his headquarters position is it's pressure. It's pressure.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what the position is. When we're talking, I enjoy spider guard, right? So once again, there's no pressure.
Yep.
So I can keep moving. I like to keep moving and switching positions as much as I can, because I'm not really giving up pressure.
Yeah.
So one thing you guys do well is go into that headquarters type position, and now there's pressure on my knee, and there's pressure that I've either got to kick and extend and elevate and move, but when your base is really good, this pressure is terrible.
Yeah.
This really my only option right now is to get rid of the pressure and create space, right? So that's there. Same thing here is this pressure.
Yeah.
Someone like me, we're only gonna wait about 5 or 10 seconds before we're like, I'm done. I'm so done with this
Yep. This is
position.
what I talked about.
So I'm gonna start to move my arm. I'm gonna start to move however I can, and I'm creating opportunities because the pressure.
Yeah, you don't want that, and that's the thing. Topaz does not like to become stagnant in the role. I think part of it's because it doesn't fit his game best, but also because if you have 5 minutes, he doesn't want to waste any time. So that's why I always felt bad when I used to go to 50-50. But I was like, you're so much better than me, man. I can't. Like I gotta slow this down somewhere.
Yeah,
I mean,
pressure.
3 minutes there, but so kind of goes into what I was saying is that I've always been a pressure passer, right? And you showed me one thing we were talking about. I think it was the first time you did my stream, and it kind of just put a bug in my ear about or in my mind about, okay, you know what? I'm not going to be ever like the kind of passer you are in terms of that. But what I can do is use some of those principles to set up my pressures. So, like one of the things, for example, we can probably end on this because I think we're getting close to your out time. Is we were talking about on the stream, like I like knee cuts. So I'm knee cutting a lot, and when people get here, one of the ways to deal with that was to essentially kind of square everything back up so that I could get my elbow back in because you can't block with this knee anymore, and then coming back in, and now that knee's out, and Tope goes, because that's not the game. That's not what Topez does. That's not in his game. And I'm not saying he could do that, but that's not what you prefer to do.
Right.
And Topez goes, well, I would probably do this, where you're going to get that knee back, where he's squaring back up and then next passing to this.
Yeah.
And I was like, both are there.
Yeah.
And I always go to the one. But if I started going to the other more, obviously it would give me another option. It would kind of be surprising to people that train with me very often. But I was like, but maybe that's just the best option from there in that case.
Right.
Like maybe anytime I'm trying to drive that elbow in, they're just driving the knee on top very well and killing it. So I'm like, shoot, I can't do that. This would be another great option.
Yeah, it's really styles make the fights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly. So not play our game and say your own grips before I get mine. Interesting conversation we were having the other day, right? Two pieces of that. So for those of you once again that don't know me, I'm a huge Keenan fan. I'm a Keenan fanboy.
Okay.
We're not gonna do any of that.
Okay.
We were talking about. I don't like. You can stand up though. I don't like the traditional kind of seated position, right? And it's because once again I'm a Keenan fanboy, and we talk about setting grips. I'm not comfortable anywhere here. Flying arm bars, all kinds of Toriandos and stuff like that. So if any of you guys have watched Keenan before, he is a fan of being here. And there are my grips right there.
If someone comes that does this to me, I'm almost always going to be grabbing.
So there are my grips right there, right? So now I'm already into my game. I can untuck this here. I can go here on the options. But part two of that is what we talked about is you'll be on bottom. Another Keenan fanboy thing is we have the tendency to do this, right? Because we've learned Toriando is one of the first passes people learn. And we have the tendency to do this, right? Because this is some of the stuff we learned right away. What we all talked about recently was, we have a little more room, was vice addressing this problem here, or vice addressing it here, we go here instead.
What's that, Tim?
A little bit here. Right? We go here instead as we make this penetration. Now, the same thing John was talking about, I can control this here. I can control here. I can start to come back up and X pass there. I can still start here, come back up and go here. But what I've done is I beat his grips, essentially my grips. You've beaten those grips because you're already past that foot in the bicep. So for me, the number one way, and I shouldn't be showing this in public, number one way to really address that is don't go here or don't go here, right? This gives me what I want, or anyone who plays this style of game from the beginning, you're better off going here, right? I have counters to this because I've been dealing with it enough, but this is much better position. Let's turn this at an angle to start with. And you can Google, Keenan's got this video much more detailed, much better explained with a pass he uses from this, which I use as well. But it's just a different approach. I've done this we're laughing because I've done this for 9 years. I've done this. Like, we come in, I'm like,
Yep.
and then the first thing I break this grip, I go here. 9 years of doing that. And I'm like, no wonder why everybody's sweeping me all over the place. I'm going right into
You're giving them a
their
leg, you're
guard.
giving them a point of.
So I just started to switch it up now, and I'm here. Boom.
What I like about this is it kind of
Sorry,
takes
go
the guesswork away from you, in that when we're square, and I'm on bottom, I can attack this way, that way, I have all the directions, I have all the options. But when he forces something, immediately, I might be able to get this, and I might feel fine. But all of a sudden, the world we're living in terms of options, it shrunk. You know, and if he's doing that a lot, he's good at those passes, that position. He's basically forcing me into a side, and a lot of my options go away, which I kind of like. I kind of like that mentality to almost force a specific neutral position. I don't know if you even call it neutral position, but force a position that's not necessarily a dominant position, but
I was saying I hate leg drags.
oh, well, I'm because I been a JP guy for a while.
Yeah.
Leg drags are like something I've always tried to. I don't shoot for it like they do, like we were talking about where that knee bar attack I've
Yeah.
been doing. But I use especially like spider guard stuff where I can drive the hips in and roll under and drive it over, like that kind of stuff I like. But they go hard at those leg drags where it's just like they get a double grip on your pants leg and they're just driving.
Although when I say I hate leg drags, I mean I hate leg drags from the bottom.
Yeah.
I love leg dragging people. I
Yeah,
just hate
yeah,
being-
yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Leg drags and folder passes are my worst thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's the spots where you get stuck and then you're just getting crushed and twisted up and everything. So, all right. Well, we're about 20 after 1. You think you're good in terms of time?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm good. Yeah. I'm
Okay.
good, Yeah.
Thank
you.
Well, I figured we could finish up now
Yeah.
because I think we covered a good amount of stuff. So you got to see that roll. We can close that actually. So that's like I said. That's one of the things I like about. I was kind of speaking to them the other day about this. Was I really enjoy recording rolls, recording my training, because it really gives me a good perspective. Like if I'm rolling with somebody like Topaz, a lot of the stuff I'm doing there is kind of like because he's forcing me to chase a lot. It's essentially like the things that I've worked into kind of muscle memory is the things I'm going at. And after a roll like that, I might remember a few things in there, but not much. So being able to watch it again and then kind of analyze and break down, oh, that's where I made my mistake. That's where I thought I was going to do this, but I couldn't because of that. Because I mean, I knew that there was a problem during the roll with my ability to move around from below, but I didn't know why until I watched afterwards, and it was because of the control of my sleeve.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's obvious once you see it. You know, I've been there before. I've done that to people. I've had it done to me a million times. That's JP's main thing against me when I get there is it's a stupid thing, and I can't.
Jason was asking if you're putting your fist on the mat. From the initial step in, no, I actually have. I think you felt this the other day. I put my fist on the shin.
Yeah.
More so. Actually, no, sorry. In that position, my fist is on almost on their hamstring. It's kind of on their thigh. So actually, no, that's a good angle where you are. It's actually it's here.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see it there. Oh, my foot's in the way. It's here on his thigh, and then my knee is right inside of that.
Yeah. And for me as the bottom person, when he gets that, I'm not upset by that because I like that position in terms of the half guard and being able to attack. But what he's doing is he's forcing us into that position. So it's like if that's not my game,
Yeah.
it's not going to be good. Thankfully, that's kind of one of my stronger spots. But even then, it's like everything else that could have been options is all gone. It's like I have 3 things I can really work from there, and that's it. And he knows that too. That's what I like about that, forcing people into positions where they only have so many options. And then because you've been there so many times, you're kind of ahead of their options. So, was there any more questions before we go?
You guys gonna roll so I can take notes?
Not today. I think we're.
Can you get an underhook? I think you probably could.
We'll get to that. Well, we have another question. I think a Facebook question. But we'll get to that.
Okay. Turn a little bit this way. Yeah. So like here. You shoot this underhook in here. Boom.
I can, but again, that's boom right there. See, that's.
I'm gonna backstep and go here.
He knows that's because the thing is, once he goes to there, I'm only going to have so many reactions, and the underhook's definitely going to be one of the reactions. So if he's ready to backstep like that right away and basically take what's now becoming a positive position with me, backsteps now it's back to where I'm behind. This is not a good spot for me. But that's just his reaction if I underhook.
Yeah.
You know, like if I grab outside and try to just get low and stuff, he can pressure down a little bit differently. There's different things he can do, but
But
based on
my actual, and this is just from one technique. Let's turn this way. Yeah, this angle's good. My actual, where I'm going is I'm going here, and I'm trying to beat that underhook. Actually,
Well,
I'm
especially
actually
this,
coming here.
because if I start to get it,
Yeah.
you flattening out like that really starts to
Yeah,
kill
I
it.
want to put my head in his jaw.
Yeah, because
Here.
this is, and then using your head to flatten me back out. Sorry.
There you go.
Is because if I can turn on my side, I'm gonna have better positioning.
A lot of people aren't gonna backstep. People don't
No.
like backstepping. So
I've
that
been trying
underhook,
to do it more.
I think that underhook would probably force most people to step back out.
Yeah,
I think I would use that as an option to begin with.
yeah.
I think it's a good option.
But the problem is, as soon as you get to a certain level, everybody's gonna backstep there.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like, what are you gonna do from there?
Yeah.
So, yeah. What was the Facebook
Yeah, you might get away
question
with it
again?
once.
Yeah. What was the Facebook question?
No, there was no.
Oh.
Facebook never loaded.
Oh, didn't. Okay. Oh, that's fine. So I think that's it. We'll go ahead and finish up there. I think that's it. Anything else you got to add?
Nah, I really appreciate you having me on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you for
appreciate it.
always a benefit to have Topaz around. So you know,
One thing,
thank you.
one thing I've been talking about, and I was kind of
Mhm.
writing in here
Yep.
because, and funny, the leg drag came up. I've been working Mantis card. We talked about that the other day, but notebooks. Like right now, a lot of people, we're not really training. We don't have the ability due to physical distancing. So right now we're saying physical distancing, social engagement. That's for mental health matters. We want people to still be engaged socially, but not so much engaged physically. So if you guys can push that on your social media as well, physical distancing, social engagement. But that's a tangent. But notebooks, writing down what techniques you like, what techniques you play a lot, and then mind mapping that out. You can't get the physical reps in, but mentally you can envision yourself doing the reps, and that will actually help develop your game. I'm really big on that. And then you'll kind of find a spot where you're mapping your game and you're like, oh man, I don't know where I'm going to go from here.
Mhm.
Then you can take advantage of those thousands of free videos that are out right now and say, hey,
So much.
I went from takedown to pass to whatever. I don't know what to do from here. Oh wait, here's this DVD that says, triangle from upside down spider kill technique, which is a real technique. Upside down spider kill
You
technique.
really dated yourself just now. You're like, there's a DVD.
DVDs still work. I
They
have
still
some-
work, but
I have a Rafael Lovato DVD. I don't know who I stole it from, but I do have one. It's pretty good. But then you can start to map from there. I think that's the best way to utilize a lot of these resources that are out there, so that we don't kind of flood our minds with too many things, and then we can't execute any of them.
yeah.
So just an idea. Notebook it out, man. Mind map it. Put it on paper, and kind of walk through the reps mentally. I think that'll help.
Mhm.
So
You know, it's funny because I don't do a lot of notebooking and stuff, but I'm always keeping almost like a mental checklist of what I'm working on at that time and things I'm focusing on. And it's funny because thankfully I don't think anybody's ever really caught me or looked at me and go, "What are you doing?" Except for my wife, where we're just sitting there like we're at a place or waiting for something, and I'm running mental reps in my mind where I'm moving my body around, like because in my mind I'm thinking about the movement. And I don't think about the fact that I look ridiculous, like standing there just kind of either my eyes closed or staring or moving around. And thankfully, like I said, like the times I've done it, the only one that's really ever like called me on it is my
what are you
wife.
doing?
Well, some of the people on the stream know I had some seizure issues last year.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing anything weird, she kind of is extra sensitive to it. So if I'm like moving weird, she's like, "Are you okay?"
That makes sense.
So-
yeah.
But I find thinking through those type of things, and to me, I don't think about the movements as much as a transition. Like something I've done a bunch of times, but they react here. How do I react? Thinking about that movement, the hip turning, it seems silly, but to me, and maybe this doesn't work for everybody, but to me, running through those mental reps when I get it live, it feels kind of how I thought, or it feels different, and that's where I go, oh, well, what did I miss here? What part? And sometimes it's just the hip turn. Sometimes it's just the placement of like my weight's on my left hip instead of my right.
No, great point.
All those little things. So anyway,
So thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys having me. Thanks,
Yep,
John, again for having
absolutely.
me on.
We'll be back next Sunday. I don't think we're going to do any things during the week unless I kind of get enough people requesting it or I just kind of get a hair where I'm like, I want to do some streams during the week. There's so much out there right now
Yeah.
that to me, I'm not trying to throw on another thing on the pile of stuff. I'll keep with my once a week thing and take advantage, like you said, of the information that's out there, free
Yeah.
stuff, and see what, like, to be honest, coming out of this, going back to what you're saying, coming out of this, I really want to take this time where it's like downtime to like 2 things,
Yeah.
like add 2 things to what I do. That's it. Like, there's too much. There's too much out there to add everything. So it's like just 2 things. I like this. Oh, I like that. I've been doing a lot more of movement passing.
Yeah.
Like I've been trying it a lot more. It's like I want to add that to my game. So it's not like my preferred thing to go to, but if it's
But you're building a new,
just a new
capability,
thing.
yeah.
So
No.
all right, everybody. Till next time. We'll see ya. Come back next week. Not sure who will be here with me. Maybe Topaz will come back. We'll see how things go. He outshines me. He's so good. So
Yeah, right.
all right, everybody. See ya.